discussion is about leadership.
Leadership.
This is a leaderless movement.
This is a leaderless movement.
How do the people in this movement feel about leaders?
Feel about leaders.
Are they important?
Are they important?
Are they necessary?
Are they necessary?
We ask you
to
break out into groups.
break out into groups
Of about 7 or 8.
7 or 8
Discuss the topic.
and discuss the topic.
Select the spokesperson.
Select the spokesperson.
Send him over to a stacker.
Send him over to a stacker.
Stackers, raise your hands.
Excuse me, my name's TJ.
Hello, TJ.
I feel that we all leaders. We don't necessarily need 4, 5, 10 people in leading us anywhere, because that's how we got in this situation right now.
The problem with leadership in this right now is not that we have leaders, is that the influence on the leaders, and the influence on the leaders is big money. So leadership in itself is good. I think it's important to have a spokesperson for the people. As long as there is no ego investment or monetary investment, then the leaders have no reason to not represent the people. So I do believe in leadership that is truly representative and rotates out, and it's viewed as a community service that you don't necessarily get paid stupid amounts for.
The nonviolent statement says that we are a movement of leaders, okay? So that means that we all have collective responsibility to work for the betterment of the movement. And that doesn't just mean taking it upon yourself and doing autonomous action whenever you feel that's necessary. That means openly bringing it up to everybody, teaching people, taking responsibility for your actions, and promoting the collective leadership, okay? As a movement of leaders, we can't all just say everything and then have it happen, okay? We have to come together as a group and decide what's best for everyone.
With the role of leadership, whatever that means, entails a great deal of responsibility. And the responsibility is to the people who you lead. And the difference between a tyrant and a leader is concerned about those values, concerned about what their role represents to the people who are, I guess, followers. A tyrant is a person who imposes power from top down, and they're not a leader.
If we're going to have a leadership thing without having structures in place to check people, we're just building the same system. And that's really what it is. And there are already people that are messing things up, and I think we already know who they are. And it's dangerous. It really is.
It's about transparency of information, and the information has produced greed in the leadership. So the people who have that information aren't willing to give it because now they're in a position of power, and they're unwilling to compromise in any way because they think that it compromises their meetings, which are important to them.
I think there's two different kinds of leadership. I mean, one is the sort of horizontal leadership that, operates in the community on the ground, like, say, keeping it real committee. It's a matter of, touching base with a lot of people, bringing the people together to deal collectively with problems. There are, needs if you're dealing with, say, talking to Oakland or talking to the city or whatever, the fire department, the health department. You have to have a representative or a couple of representatives. And if you don't like the way they perform, you just replace them. But they're delegates. They're representatives.
Okay, let's...
But if you don't agree and they're doing something in my name, that is a problem. In fact, that's completely against what Occupy was set up in the first place.
My group felt that Occupy is a leaderless movement.
That Occupy is a leaderless movement.
The 1% relies upon leaders to assume control of the entire population. The 99% must work together to create a peaceful and just society.
Our group discussed the concept of Vox Populi. Which means voice of the people.
Which means voice of the people.
We do not have leaders. That make decisions. Decisions are made by open source groups that anyone can participate in.
participate in.
A Vox Populi leader
A Vox Populi leader
is a charismatic person
is a charismatic person
to answer questions and speak on behalf of Vox Populi.
of Vox Populi.
And they are constantly rotating.
I just wanted to say that I was not elected by my group to speak to you right now. And the reason I'm speaking before you is to give you an example of what happened if I was to decide on my own that I was representing my group. All of the people that came up here today representing the small group were elected by the small group. So that is what we mean by transparency and leadership. I'm giving you an example now of bad leadership. I was not elected, and if I'm chosen to address you, representing my group, even though I'm not authorized to. So please keep that in mind. When we talk about transparency, and when we talk about having spokespeople, who we all agree will represent us, the police, with the city, and any other officials. Thank you.
I am speaking to you as a spokesperson for my small collective. This is what we believe we need. We believe that we are in a transitional period. The majority of us have come from a society that did not teach us to be leaders. We need to educate ourselves and others on how to be leaders. When we reach that point, we will all be spokespersons. For the movement. We will all represent the needs and the goals of the movement. Thank you.